The Raiders suffered their first defeat this past week, but I am still a believer. Welcome to Pan Am Football. I am the resident tired dad of Pan Am Football, Max Dean, and you can find me on Twitter at Pan Am Football. Now, this week, I'm doing the Raiders offense, more specifically, their passing offense. We did a film breakdown on the Panthers defense last week, got a tremendous amount of positive feedback. So if you're a fan of the NFL, if you're a Raiders fan, like, subscribe, join on, and we'll be doing more content like this throughout the rest of the season. So what we're going to look at today is the Raiders passing offense. First, we're going to take a look at the skill players, guys like Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, Bryan Edwards, Ruggs. Then we're going to take a look at how Derek Carr plays the game and the things that I like about what he does. And finally, we're going to take a look at some unique personnel packages that John Gruden has inserted into his offense and why I like them for the Raiders in particular. Without further ado, let's jump into it. So we're going to take a quick look at the guys who make up the receiver core and talk about their size and weight, and that'll give you some context for what you're seeing on film. We've got Hunter Renfrow, 5'10", 185 pounds. He is the slot receiver route technician. Bryan Edwards, 6'3", 212, big body, deep threat. Henry Ruggs, the third, is a 6 foot, 200-pound vertical threat athletic freak. And Darren Waller, 6'6", 255 pounds. He is a mismatch nightmare for any defense, and he makes the whole offense run. So, let's jump into some Dag-Gum game tape. So before the heavy stuff, I'm just going to hit you with some skill players here. We've got Renfrow running a little curl, but look at that elusiveness after the catch. Now, he is actually a very underrated route runner. His cuts are so violent. Here he's doing an out and up, boom. That is an aggressive foot in the ground cut and gets up and goes for it. He's a very good player. And here, because he hits the curls, stutter go, and you buy it. And he's got great hands and very physical. I like him a lot. Now, Edwards, he's going to run a quick little stop route. He explodes off the ball, which I like. Not the sharpest route, but he is a very strong physical player. He's the Raiders' big-bodied wideout. He's a natural deep threat because of his size and length. Again, not the sharpest route, but very smooth athlete, and that length just makes him a natural downfield threat. Now, Ruggs is the resident Ferrari. He's blazing fast, but look, 1, 2, 3. That's a beautiful, sharp, deep in, and I think he's becoming a hell of a player. Now, the beautiful thing about Ruggs is, just look at this post. No matter how fast he goes, he just has such tremendous body control. He always stays on his feet, catches the ball easily, he's never falling down. Great. Now, Waller is the one who makes it all go. He's going to run a quick little slant, just such light feet, finds the soft spot. Here, he's going up against a corner, and he's going to run an out route. Not a violent cut, just very smooth, finds the soft spot in the zone. And here, he's basically running a wheel route against a linebacker, and just changes the speed. You right there. And then look at this adjustment. That is, not many tight ends do that. And this last one I like because it shows how Waller and Carr are on the same page. He's going to run a little fake stop, and then because the linebacker is hyper aware of where Waller is, and he has his eyes on the quarterback in zone coverage, Carr gives a little pump fake, and Robert Spillane drives on the ball. Now, because, like I said, he's looking at the quarterback, he doesn't know the dead giveaway that Waller is looking right at him to see what he's going to do. So as soon as he drives, Waller continues his route, Carr completes the pass, and Spillane recovers well enough to keep it from being a huge chunk play. But these are the little things from Gruden that I really like. All right, join me in something I love to look at, which is Derek Carr reading defenses pre-snap. Now, this is something he's actually quite good at now in his career. He's not super physically talented in terms of arm or athleticism. It's why he was a second-round pick. But he's gotten very good at reading defenses. Now, what we're going to take a look at is what he deciphers from their alignment pre-snap. So all we know in this exact moment is that it's nickel personnel, big nickel to be exact. So we have 4 on the line, 2 off-ball linebackers, 3 safeties, and 2 cornerbacks. But watch free safety Trey Norwood right here. That movement backwards towards the middle of the field indicates middle field closed, or more specifically, cover one man. So man coverage on all of the receivers and a single high free safety. But watch strong safety Terrell Edmunds. Gotcha. The safeties are transitioning to a two high look, which is going to be cover two zone, and that cover one man look was intended to fool Derek Carr, but it doesn't work. And so this is what he does. Now I will say quickly that it looks like the Steelers are running some type of zone match coverage, which means that there are some man principles involved, but what we're going to do is stick down here to the offensive right side. So the key here are the two wide receivers, the corner, and the safety. The wide receivers are running a route combination as follows. Henry Ruggs out of the slot is running a flat route, and Bryan Edwards from the outside is running a slant. Now, this particularly puts stress on these two defenders because the safety is playing so tight to the line of scrimmage. So it's going to take him a little longer to get back there to defend that slant route. So Derek Carr takes advantage of this by, after the snap, looking directly at Bryan Edwards. That forces the corner to carry Edwards a little bit deeper into his zone to where the transition is, and then he just turns and hits Ruggs in the wide open flat, and with his special speed, that's a nice big gain for them. Super easy. Let's watch it. Snap, stare at the corner, then throw to the wide open flat. So easy. So easy. Since that was a simpler read against a four-man rush, let's look at some post-snap decision-making by Carr against the blitz. Now this is a big play. 3rd and 4 in overtime against the Ravens. Carr is looking at 7 potential rushers. Now, he's pretty sure all 7 aren't coming. That's pretty clear. But there are 7 guys who will form the combination that will eventually rush. In just a second, I'll switch the angle so that you can see the rush better. But before I do, I want to show you the route concept. Now, there may be a better name for it, but to me this basically looks like a take on the sail concept, which is a high-low attack on one side of the field, as well as a deep route that clears space. So the high is going to be Darren Waller running this dig route that's utilizing his deep speed. And then the low is going to be Hunter Renfrow using an inside release speed out. And then Bryan Edwards is going to be the deep clearing route on what looks to me like it's supposed to be an outside release go route, but he ends up kind of running a fade because the defender pushes him. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but that's what happens. So the final aspect of this route combination is Henry Ruggs here on the left side running a flat route. And that's going to be the hot route. So that's where you want to go in the case of a blitz, because all of the others take at least a little time to develop. Now I'm showing you all of this as a setup for the rush and the impact that it has. Now, sometimes the difference between a successful offensive or defensive play is as simple as correctly guessing right or left. And I'm going to show you what I mean. These are the 7 potential rushers that the Ravens have. Now, these are the 6 blockers that the Raiders have set to protect. The Ravens are not going to blitz 7, right? They're not going to bring 7 guys. They're going to bring most likely 5 or 6 in Derek Carr's mind. So what's effective to bring 6 against 6 or 5 against 6? To bring more on one side than they have blockers on one side. You don't need more than the entire line. You just need more on one side. That's the numbers game of it all. So if the Ravens brought the blitz from Derek Carr's right, the play would be over pretty quickly. His hot route is to the left. He would probably have a lane that way. He'd get the ball out quickly, and they only need 4 to convert for a first down. However, the Ravens bring from the offensive left. That pushes Derek Carr off his spot, and then he has to figure out what to do while his 3 routes develop to the right side of the field, which is not easy in the face of a blitz. Now, Derek Carr knows everything that I just told you. He's aware of it in this exact moment, and I'm really impressed with how he handles it. So he is keying in on this defensive player because if they are going to try and win the numbers matchup to the right, he is coming. He knows that for sure, and he's right in his view. So as soon as the ball is snapped, watch what he does. Now, because it's just a numbers game, as soon as that defender pulls away from the line, Carr knows that they're blitzing from his left. He doesn't even have to look. He knows the pressure is coming. So it's these 4 defenders against these 3 blockers. And no, it's not the fault of the offensive line on the right. It's just the way that the defense was schemed. But what he's going to do, which is so impressive to me, is knowing this, he is going to instantly start incorporating a slide right into his drop. So as he runs through his footwork backwards in the pocket, he's also going to drift right to help account for that blitz that he doesn't even have to see to know is coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ball out. So the Ravens guess right, and he still made them wrong. So that's how he reads the blitz post-snap. Now we're going to come back to the other angle and see how he diagnoses the coverage post-snap. So we already know what the route combination is, and we just need to see what the defense does in coverage. So we see Carr drift to the right, and here he's already made his decision. So what does he see? Let's take a look. So Ruggs here in the flat, he's not even considering because he's running away from him. Waller's route is going to take too long to develop, plus there's a defender here and here bracketing him in coverage. Then you have Renfrow about to break out at the sticks towards the sideline, but he's also bracketed by a defender here and here. And then finally, you've got Bryan Edwards, the big body receiver, patiently working to get even with the corner here heading downfield. So Carr says, screw it, go get it, big boy, and chucks it up for him. And it's basically what looks to be a back shoulder pass. Don't know if it's intended or that's just all he could get on it, falling kind of away to his right like that. The last thing that we're going to talk about today is how this offense is built around Darren Waller. And I mean that in more than just throwing him the ball a lot. We're going to start with personnel packages. Basically, many of you know that 11 personnel means you have 3 wide receivers, 12 personnel means you have 2 tight ends. But what that really means is the first number tells you the number of running backs, the second number tells you the number of tight ends, and the unspoken third number is the number of wide receivers. So right here, the Raiders are in 22 personnel, which means they have 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, and 1 wide receiver. And their wide receiver is Bryan Edwards, who is their biggest starting wide receiver, got the biggest body for blocking. Now, this is a run-heavy package and a run-heavy formation. They are forcing the defense to account for the run game heavily. Now, what I like so much about what John Gruden is doing is he has realized that having Darren Waller is like having a tight end or a wide receiver. So when you bring a group of guys to the line of scrimmage, this can be viewed as 21 personnel or 22 personnel. However you, as the offensive coordinator, want to use Darren Waller on that play dictates what that personnel package actually is. So Darren Waller is a mismatch nightmare. What you do is get him lined up against guys who can't cover him that well. Well, you take that a step further and you use him to force mismatches for other offensive players on your team. So what you're looking at here is the same play from a different angle. We have 7 men on the line because we have the 2 tight ends. We have the fullback as well. Now this formation basically forces the Ravens defense to have 9 men in the box. If you don't get a hat on a hat, if the play is blocked properly, it's essentially a guaranteed touchdown because you have to have at least that one free defender to make the tackle on the running back. So what they do is they bring Bryan Edwards across the formation. The corner follows him. So that shows that it's man-to-man. It also means that once Bryan Edwards gets out to where he's lining up, there is all of this space for him to run a route in any which way. And there's really no help for the corner. Throw in on top of that the Ravens have their number 1 corner, Marlon Humphrey, lined up over Darren Waller because they know he's as dangerous as I'm talking about right now. That's really asking a lot of this cornerback. All right, we're going to let Edwards finish getting set, and we're going to take a look at the routes quick. But the other thing to keep in mind is that because of the timing of this, it also doesn't really let the corner get his coverage stance set. So the offense is really dictating the terms of this matchup. So this route combination has Bryan Edwards running a curl, Darren Waller running a wheel route, and Josh Jacobs out of the backfield hitting the flat. If any other offense were to run this, or most other offenses I should say, this would be a very one-dimensional play call. But Darren Waller really changes that up. Now, like I said, it's cover one man. The only thing that you're going to see happen that doesn't resemble that is that this edge defender recognizes the play and drops to the flat to cover Josh Jacobs as well. But that's it. So this is exactly the look they wanted, and so Carr can take his time, really stare down the receiver, deliver an on-point pass, and no one's looking at him to pick it off. So there you go. So they've had a lot of success with this. Here's a 21 personnel 5-yard reception to Peyton Barber, but it gets them out of their own end zone and draws a flag there as well. Here's a 12 personnel reception to Bryan Edwards for a chunk play. They've had success passing to a lot of different types of players as well. This next one is going to be a 21 personnel package reception to Darren Waller. After that, they've got some big plays to running backs as well. Here's a 23-yard reception out of 21 personnel to Peyton Barber. Then here, they had a lot of success versus the Dolphins. Here's a 12 personnel, 16-yard reception to Kenyon Drake that puts them in scoring position. Here's a 12 personnel touchdown pass to Foster Moreau, the tight end. And then here's another really fun one too, again at the expense of the Dolphins, a 23 personnel pass play on the goal line for a touchdown reception to fullback Alex Ingold. So to bring it all back together, what I really like about the Raiders offense are a few things. First, they have a nice, varied selection of skill players who each play different roles very successfully in the passing game. Next, Derek Carr is very good pre and post snap. Will he ever be Patrick Mahomes? No, we know that. But he does what he does very well. And if you watch him, you see the little details that he does. Now, the last thing is, I really like that John Gruden has found this player to help make his offense function, and that's Darren Waller. He has figured out how to take heavy personnel packages that dictate defenses have to be in somewhat run defense formations and then run effective pass plays out of them. Remember, I'm Max Dean. You can find me on Twitter at PanAmFootball, and we'll be doing film breakdowns every single week. So please do subscribe, like, throw a comment down below if you like what you saw, and let me know who you want to see, and you can always join the Patreon. All right, thanks so much, and I will see you all very soon.